We are going to work with Python and statistics and also being able to use a CSV file. So in our class, remember from a while back, one of the first things we did with the spreadsheet is work with video game data, the top 100 video games in sales. I'm going to do the same thing today in this video with Python. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the file. I've already downloaded a CSV file that goes with video game sales, which is off the screen. I'm having trouble being able to move it so you can see it. But I've selected from that list a CSV file that has all the video game sales. So it's in CSV format, kind of like we did in the last video. And what I'm going to do is, kind of like the last video, is I'm going to import CSV. And also I'm going to import something called statistics. So I'm going to use both of these modules, one for reading and one for actually calculating some statistics. I'm going to call my first list that I'm using games. So a list of all the games. And then just like last time, I'm going to open this file. The file name here is kind of long, so I'm going to rename it just to make it easier to work with. To just sales. So I don't have to type as much over here. And then, of course, we're going to use a second parameter of R for read. And then we're going to import that, or work with that as the object I'm going to call file. And then CSV file is going to be the next object that I'm going to call, where we're going to take that CSV module and I'm going to use the method or function in it to actually read the file object. And that's going to put it into a new object that's going to be a bunch of directories. And then what I'm going to do is a little for loop to reformat to make the object games or the list games be appended each time the loop runs to get a row out of that object. So what this does, remember, is it gives me a list of dictionaries. So I can actually print out games so we can see what's in there. When I run it, I will see that I have spelled something wrong. Oh, so sorry, my fault. So then we see that we have a list of dictionaries, right, like we've done in the past. Instead of printing all those dictionaries out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use list comprehension, and I'm going to pull out of it the year that the games were published. So there's a bunch of keys, including rank, name, platform, year, publisher, global sales in millions of dollars. I'm going to pull out the year. It's year with a capital Y. For X in games. And then I can print it out so I can see what's in there. Let me clear the screen so we can see it better. Okay, so here are all the years. I'm going to want to work with these as numbers. So right now they're in here as strings, and I can tell that because of these parentheses that are around each one. So I've got 2006, but parentheses. So I want to cast basically each one as an int. So the easiest way for me to do that is right here when I get each element in my list comprehension, if I just cast it at that moment as an int. So now when I've done it, now the parentheses are gone, they're all integers. It's just going to make it easier for me to work with. So I'm going to try to get the mean, median, and mode. So I've had you by hand try to get the mean and the median, but I've never asked you to get the mode before by hand, coding it by hand. So that's where this statistics is going to come in. There are methods or functions within the statistics module that does all of this for us automatically, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say print right off the top, and I'm going to call up the statistics module, and I'm going to go for the median. And I can just, with this statistics module, with the median, I can just give it a list. So this looks a lot like the way Google Spreadsheets work. And there it is. There is the mean. I'm going to do the same thing for the median. And then maybe make it faster. I'm going to say the mode. This is very similar to the way it works in a spreadsheet, right? If you remember, the mean, median, and mode, all we have to do is use that equation in a spreadsheet that says I want the mean of this column, I want the median of this column, I want the mode of this column. We're really doing the same thing. We're doing the mean, median, and mode of the statistics module to calculate, instead of what's a column, we're calling it a list. Same difference though, it's really doing the same thing.